I want to give a huge thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Therapy isn't something to run away from, it's a vessel to run towards. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service and it's 100% online, so break out your comfies. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time. Anytime. And schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. No more fumbling to get a session on the calendar. You schedule based on when the time is right for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. Therapy changed my life for the better. Pun intended. And with BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Rocky. That's betterhelp.com/Rocky. I really didn't want to talk about the Marjorie Taylor Greene and the Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett thing, but it actually really is heavy on my mind. So we are going to talk about it because, as we know, politics in this country are kind of a circus. And when the circus comes to town, it makes the news. I think I just made that up. Are you guys reading about circuses in newspapers? Send me the articles. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a bully. However, bullies only succeed in atmospheres where they're watered, where people encourage their bullying. She called Congresswoman Crockett's eyelashes fake. She said, "I can't hear you through your fake eyelashes," which is a crazy thing to say anyway, because is that where she thinks sound comes from? People's eyes? Sounds like somebody has been listening to too many power ballads. It's the caucasity for me. Marjorie Taylor Greene watched one Tom Brady roast and now she thinks she's Icky Glazer. The joke didn't work, boo. The only thing Marjorie Taylor Greene is capable of burning is her ends. But people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, they are antagonizers. And who did she antagonize the most? Who did she get riled up the most? Well, my very own representative, AOC. You could hear it in her voice when she said it. Babygirl. The translation of that Babygirl is,
I got 100 guns, 100 clips. Nigga, I'm from New York, New York.
And I don't think violence is the answer. These are our Congress people, for God's sakes. But if you were to ask me offline in the privacy of my home if Marjorie Taylor Greene deserves to get her ass beat, well,
I'm from New York, New York.
Violence is not the answer. I'm a peaceful being dwelling on this earth, but sometimes violence is the answer. Now, MTG says she's not apologizing. I didn't really understand the jargon of, I want that to be struck or that to be recorded or whatever. I'm not paid to learn Congressperson jargon. But she said something along the lines of, I'm okay with striking it from the record, but I'm not apologizing. And that is boom, where karma comes in. Because that is when Miss Crockett says something along the lines of, well, if I were to call her a bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body, I'd be wrong, though. Well, no, girl, you would not be wrong. And then the men in Congress tried to pretend like they didn't know she was coming back for MTG with a harder burn. Oh, she got her. She got her with the bleach blonde. Now, if I was in the writer room of Miss Crockett's jokes and comebacks, I might have said something about Marjorie Taylor Greene's hair being too straight. Marjorie Taylor Greene's hair is so straight, it might as well be Matt Gaetz' morning affirmations. I do like women. I do like women. I won't stick my podium mic in my butthole just to see what it feels like, and I hate rainbows. I'm so straight. Straight Gaetz. Something in that world. And then Miss Crockett says, this is what y'all do. And as your mixed liaison between the white and the black community, I will say this is what white people be doing sometimes. You brought it to this level. You poked and poked and poked until you got your ass embarrassed. I wish everyone knew about the law of karma. If you don't know about the law of karma, I highly recommend that you watch a YouTube video on the law of karma. Now, I don't know if it applies to demons, and let's be real, MTG is a living, breathing, walking demon. But if it does, we're going to watch the demise of this woman, and she's going to do it to herself. Everything you put out comes back to you times 3. You don't believe me? Start putting some good shit out there and see what happens. Or put some bad shit out there and see what happens. I don't make up the law of karma. I am just another liaison. A bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body. 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 A bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body.
I'm from New York, New York.
Is a great tongue twister if maybe you're in acting school or a voiceover actor, maybe trying to exercise those lips. Say it with me. A bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body. Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you're listening, I'm wishing you internal peace, baby girl. It is obvious you need a little morning meditation routine. Smoke a joint, baby girl. Let someone go down on you, baby girl. Women who get their coochies eaten say things like, yes, bitch, them eyelashes is sitting. Women who get their coochies eaten say things like, women need to stick the fuck together because there is a war against us in this country, and putting each other down is only setting each other back. I love your lashes, Congresswoman Crockett. Now let's take down this fucking patriarchy. But first, let me straighten my hair.
It's time for
Duh.
Rocket Run.
Duh. Welcome to the Rocky Rundown, where you get to learn a little bit about my week. Party God Squad, hello! Did you have a good week? I sure hope so. I hope it was so juicy and so squooshy that you're walking around like that SpongeBob meme where his eyes are lit up like glitter. I did one of the most fun activities a gal who loves to do activities and party could possibly do. I rode on a party bus. I didn't know what to expect because I'd never been on a party bus before. That's not true. Once in Atlantic City, me and a few friends paid $5 each to ride in one for 10 minutes. It was a flash in the pan of fun, but somehow an absolute core memory. But that was 5 years ago. Snap back to the present. Me and the gang loading into a party bus in the Burger King parking lot. We were on our way to do something fancy, I may add, but this is NYC, baby. If you're turning up your nose at us loading into a party bus in the BK Lounge parking lot, I assure you what we were being was resourceful. Like I said, this is New York City. We can't just be parking in front of our apartments, obstructing traffic like this is moving day. Have some goddamn respect. I don't know how many Real Housewives fans I have listening, but if you are a fan, you know these women often travel in a party bus, but sometimes it's school bus field trip style in rows, and sometimes it's big and open. A fear amongst a few of us was that this was going to be row style. Row style, you gotta buddy up. Row style, somebody's in the back, somebody's in the front. Only really the middle is having a fun time. Your knees are all restricted. But when we boarded this party mobile, it was no knees in sight. All open. Like a traditional limo, a bus limo. Are you getting the distinction? We had an hour and a half, maybe more of drive time with one pit stop. Now here's where it gets animalistic. You give somebody who knows how to appeal to everyone's musical taste equally the aux cord, okay? You get the bubbly flowing, people's edibles are kicking in. It's gonna be a good time. We only stopped once to pick up 2 stragglers at a rest stop. One of those park and goes. Is it controversial to say that the rest stops should have bathrooms, or do you think it's fine to have weary travelers pee in the open wooded section of the rest stop? I'm not talking highway rest stop with a little convenience store attached to it. I'm talking one of those park and goes. What's the harm in having a bathroom there? Wouldn't you be cool with your tax dollars going there so we didn't have to squat over leaves and hope a tick doesn't decide to crawl inside us because it wants a new home? You can't just crawl inside things because you want a new home, ticks. We did pee outside in waves, though. And when we got to the vineyard, the reason for the season, I was kind of like, we could have stayed on the bus. Not because the vineyard wasn't beautiful, not because I like to go against the grain, but just because we were getting raw on the bus, singing at the top of our lungs, dancing, shouting. It was animalistic. Everyone needs that release. Is it crazy to say a party bus is party enough? But I was happy we went to the vineyard. We get into the vineyard. And I'm glad we did because the vineyard was so cool inside. We had this huge reserved table right in the center of the restaurant. If you're not that informed with vineyards, let me inform you. They get their name because wine grows on vines. And by wine, I mean grapes. Grapes grow on vines, and those vines, there's yards and yards of them. These are grape-holding vineyards, a vineyard. So what's going to be on the menu but wine flights? You know, little tasters of about 4 wines, all from this vineyard. It's almost summer. We've been drinking bubbly all morning and tequila as well. So most of us stick to getting little wine flights, little personal tasters of wine. And again, because of the weather, everyone ordered white. So when the server comes to the table, he just starts yelling out, "White flight! White flight! Who got the white flight?" I did still drink the white flight, so when I was done, I could say, "Take that white flight." They had brick oven pizza there, and the only way I can describe it is like this, okay? If it was a turkey cooked to perfection, it would have fell off the bone. Drip, drip. I was born and raised in the pizza capital of the country, and I will still say that this pizza was one of the most elite pizzas I've had the pleasure of chomping on, baby. So good. One of my friends was friends with the owner, and because of this fun fact, we were really, really, really well taken care of. Getting hooked up at a restaurant has very little to do with the person in charge of giving the hookup out. And it has everything to do with the person receiving the hookup. The hookupee. Hear me out. There are plenty of good, great, and kind people in power positions to give the people they know the hookup. If those people in power positions don't give someone a hookup, it doesn't mean they're bad people. There's no law or requirement that says when you go into your friend's spot, they have to hook you up. So if you go somewhere and you get hooked up, just know it has everything to do with you and is a testament to your character. We had time to hit another vineyard before our party bus turned into a pumpkin, and this one was cute. It was giving Nancy Meyers movie, think linen and crab cakes. We shared a bunch of bottles, and then I did the unthinkable. I guessed 3 fruits in this mad, obscure bottle of wine. Apricot, kiwi, starfruit, baby. Got 'em all. You would have had to be there to believe it. I don't think it was on camera. And there was a little telepathy going on between me and my girlfriends, which, again, you would have to be there to believe it. But maybe you do believe it, and that's why I love you. I do. I love you. I love you for listening, and I love you for believing. And I won $25 in my guessing. I would have won $100 had I not guessed banana as a joke. I have never paid more for a banana in my life. We got back on the party bus, stoned, drunk, full, and ready to belt 90 songs. And ready to pee in that park and ride rest stop woods one more time. The vineyards were perfect from top to bottom. But never underestimate the power of getting in a party bus. And well, partying. That brings us to Rocky's highest thoughts, my most stoned thoughts of the week. Number 1, I'm not a vegetarian, but I dabble when I can to make healthy substitutions. I was really craving ground beef mixed with spaghetti squash. It's a power punch in the palate department. So I go to the store stoned and I go to get some Impossible beef or Beyond beef, whatever they have. And it wasn't there. And my first thought is, okay, blatant attack on the vegan community by Big Cow. This is crazy. Right under our noses. Then I ask a worker who goes in the back and asks, I'm sure another worker, where the goods are. Where is the fake beef? And the worker comes out and he looks me dead in my eyes and he says, the delivery didn't come today when it should have. So it would be impossible for you to get that. The cadence in which he said that, the courage it must have taken to say that joke to a customer because people be out here Karening. Mad respect for the bravery. I just walked away smiling and laughing. I waited a couple days till they got it, and honestly, it was worth the wait. Number 2, I got in an Uber at like 4 a.m. recently, and the driver had the absolute audacity to say, "Good morning, sir." We both know goddamn well I am not starting my day. Cut that shit out. Number 3, do not flush baby wipes, Clorox wipes, makeup wipes, any kind of wipe. If you are someone who's doing that, stop it today, immediately, and make sure that that wipe goes in the trash. I just learned you're destroying the plumbing of America when that is such a preventable thing and you don't have to do that. And I can't believe I had to use a highest thought to tell you that, but god damn it, stop flushing wipes. Right? You're not dumb. Don't do dumb stuff. Dummies do dumb stuff and you're not a dummy. You're a smarty. And number 4, Harry Styles needs to come out with a new album already. His music is rooted in sexual energy in such a way that the world really needs it right now. Big announcement for Patreon subscribers only this week. And big thanks for all the story submissions. I have some great ones on deck. And remember, if you want to submit your story, you can DM me or email me at wildnightswithrocky@gmail.com. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can follow me at Wild Nights with Rocky on TikTok and Instagram, at Wild Nights Pod on Twitter. If you'd like to subscribe on YouTube, do that. It's fun to subscribe on YouTube. Everyone is doing it. You can also join my Patreon for $2 or $5 a month. A big thank you and a future thank you to everyone who's written and everyone who will write a review on Apple Podcasts as soon as this episode is over. It really does make a difference. And until next time, stay wild. Women who don't get their coochies eaten, they say things like, "Oh man, it's hard to fit through this doorway with all this shoulder. Wish somebody would go down on me."